Ian Garry, the most hated man at MMA and the biggest cuck in the fight game right now. I don't even know if I could say that word because, yes, my last video did get age restricted. Like, what's going on, YouTube? Ian Garry is back in the news, and his fight has leaked. Yes, we have all the news about his fight, when his fight is going to happen, who he is going to fight, and even theories on when the bald god himself is going to announce this fight. Now, there's a lot of theories online. Some people say it's Colby Covington. Some people are bringing up other opponents. Some people are saying Colby Covington is ducking Ian Garry. Well, I have all the details here. I'm going to get into it right now. Ian Garry is coming off of that performance against Jeff Neal. Nothing too impressive, so he definitely needs a big, impressive performance next time out so he could secure a title shot potentially, or he could at least secure a #1 contender spot. Now, whether you hate Ian Garry or hate Ian Garry, you got to admit he definitely has talent. He's definitely shown that he can be good in some of his fights. Just how good we don't know, and I think this fight will definitely show us. Now, before I get into the proof, I just want to get the subscribe button, like, comment, and share, guys. We're almost at 13K. If you guys could just help me out with the goal, I'd appreciate it. Don't want to spend too much on it, so let's talk about Ian Garry. He's a top prospect in the welterweight division, currently undefeated, and yeah, we've all had our suspicions he's going to fight on that Conor McGregor card, even maybe the co-main event. I've talked about it in past videos, and it looks like this thing is becoming more and more legit. I'm about to show you guys right now. So this is Ian Garry's Instagram. You could tell because the comments are completely shut off, and this is Ian Garry next to the notorious one, Conor McGregor, who will be returning June 29th at UFC 303 and International Fight Week against Michael Chandler. And unfortunately, I don't know why, it might be because I'm on my computer, but we're going to pay attention not just these pictures, and you can see, look, he posted another picture of them training. They're both in Ireland. I don't know if these are old because I knew that they trained together a while ago, but as you can see, he posts IE versus US. Now, it's really supposed to be the emojis. I don't know what's going on, but really, it's the Irish flag and the US flag, meaning that, yeah, these two are both from Ireland, so obviously they're going to be representing the Irish flag, but they're going to be fighting both Americans. Now, as I mentioned, we know McGregor, he's going to be fighting Michael Chandler. That has been common knowledge for the past year and a half, and that which means he is going to be fighting an American opponent. Now, which American opponent is that? I know a lot of people are assuming Colby Covington. Let's not assume. Let's take a look at the rankings. So here are the UFC welterweight rankings. As you can see, you can find this on the UFC website. Champion Leon Edwards, and let's take a look at Ian Garry. Ian Garry's right here, #7. Keep in mind, he is above Stephen Thompson. So now let's take a look. So obviously, Ian Garry is most likely going to get an opponent above. I can't imagine they're going to send him backwards in the rankings. That would just be dumb. I don't get that. Ian Garry is definitely a prospect we know that they want to push, so let's not even entertain that idea. #6, Gilbert Burns. He represents Brazil, so he's out. Jack Della Maddalena, he represents Australia. He's out. Colby Covington, of course, yes, he is in. We know the beef between him and Colby Covington. We know that these two have been going back and forth over the past few weeks. That is a very strong possibility. Now, Shafkat obviously is not going to represent an American flag. Bilal Muhammad, I'm not sure if he represents an American flag. I believe he represents a Palestine flag. I'm not 100% sure. And Kamaru Usman uses a Nigerian flag, which means it is mathematically impossible for it to be nobody else other than Colby Covington. And it just makes sense for so many reasons. Now, Colby Covington, I'm 99.9% sure that he is going to be the opponent for Ian Garry. When I think we could all assume, obviously, Irish versus US, that implies that he will be on that fight card on June 29th, and McGregor versus Chandler card, which is insane. I want to talk about that a little bit because we're talking about press conferences. I'm going to get into all of it, guys. I promise. I have a whole bunch of questions I want to ask you guys, and as well as just discussion points that you guys might not even think about. But it seems like the fight is almost official. I would probably guess that they're going to announce this fight rather soon. I think this is going to be a fight that they're going to announce alone. I can't see them having it in a big announcement. I think they're going to want to announce this and kind of have it take the spotlight for a day or so. I don't think they're going to announce this in a big super package announcing so many fights in the summer. And if I were to take a guess, I'd probably say the co-main event of UFC 303. They don't usually stack those McGregor cards. I'm honestly surprised that they're willing to put such a massive fight on that card. #1, I think the number one question I have as a fan is it 5 rounds or not? Let's make this thing 5 rounds. I hope this thing is 5 rounds. I can see the UFC wanting Ian Garry to win and making it not 5 rounds. It's not a #1 contenders fight necessarily. If Colby Covington wins, I don't think he gets a title shot. However, that's a big question. Will this fight be 5 rounds? And another big question is Colby Covington ducking Ian Garry, right? Ian Garry saying it. I don't think Colby Covington will duck Ian Garry. That being said, yes, there have been fights that he's ducked before, 1000%. Ian Garry is not one of them. I think Colby Covington looks at this matchup, at least how I look at it, is that Ian Garry is still a young guy. He's a young prospect. I believe he only has 14 fights or so, maybe even less than that. He's very new to the MMA scene and has not fought anybody near the level of Colby Covington. I know Colby Covington had that horrible performance that I'm still very mad at against Leon Edwards. Like, Colby Covington, I will say this, if he does not take this fight, this is the fucking final nail in his grave. Like, honestly, I swear to God, if this fight doesn't happen and he fucking declines Ian Garry, I swear to God, us MMA fans have to boycott this guy. Like, this guy's ridiculous. He's the Cyril Gahn of the welterweight division. But there's that to consider. I do think he'll probably take the fight because, look, at the end of the day, Ian Garry doesn't have a lot of experience. He's never been 5 rounds. We've never really seen his grappling cardio be tested. Colby Covington is usually the type of guy to shoot so many takedowns to wear on that cardio. He didn't do that against Leon Edwards for whatever reason, but he usually does that. And if he could do that against Ian Garry, I definitely think he can have some success. But Ian Garry is good. He does look strong. He's a big guy for the weight class. It's going to be hard for Colby Covington to get on the inside with the good footwork of Ian Garry, and just with the range too of Ian Garry. He's a tall dude. Another thing is, will there be a press conference? And if there is, oh my God, this is going to be an insane press conference. Probably one of the most watched press conferences, because we'll have Conor McGregor and Michael Chandler, Colby Covington, Ian Garry. I mean, I don't know what the UFC is going to do, because McGregor is supposed to be in the red corner, I believe, so that means Colby Covington would be next to Conor McGregor, and I do not see Colby Covington not talking shit about Conor McGregor or trying to angle for a fight with McGregor, especially since McGregor's fight is in the welterweight division. I'd probably guess it's safer to have Ian Garry next to McGregor, and I'm pretty sure they would do that, but that's if they wind up doing that, because if you guys recall, at that last press conference with McGregor and Poirier and the third fight, they didn't have anybody else there. They only had those 2 fights. And to be fair, yes, there wasn't that big of a fight outside of that. I mean, the next biggest fight was Stephen Thompson versus Gilbert Burns. I think it should be 5 rounds. Give it the press conference. Give it all the hype it deserves, because I would be super excited for that fight, especially where it's going to be placed. I mean, that's insane. I mean, I think if Ian Garry is able to use that footwork to circle around the cage, defend the takedowns, reverse Colby Covington, and then, you know, keep moving on the feet, he could have some success in this fight. It's going to be a real big question mark. How's Ian Garry's cardio, especially if it's 5 rounds? If it's 3 rounds, I definitely might lean towards Ian Garry. I don't know, guys. I might still lean towards Colby Covington. But Colby Covington, if this is a 5-round fight, I don't know. This is where it becomes interesting, because can Ian Garry finish Colby Covington? I would probably say not. I mean, when's the last time Ian Garry has finished a high-level guy? But if Colby Covington's able to step on the gas, right, push forward with Ian Garry going backwards, unlike what he did in that Leon Edwards fight where he just sat on the back foot waiting for Leon to do something, you can't do that against Ian Garry. Ian Garry's just going to stack up points against you and win those rounds. Colby needs to make this more of a dog fight. Keep shooting, and if your takedowns fail, just keep shooting. I mean, Colby Covington has the cardio to do that. And what's on the line for these guys? I mean, look, if Ian Garry wins this fight, especially in spectacular fashion, I can't see a scenario where he doesn't get a title shot. Especially being a co-main event on a McGregor card, you're going to carry that Irish fan base to your next fight. There's a lot of star power potential from Ian Garry, and I think Colby Covington also has equally to gain. Though I don't think he will get a title shot, but I wouldn't count it out with what the UFC has done in the past. Tyron Woodley was no longer in the organization when Colby Covington got that second title shot against Usman. But what's in it for Colby is redemption. Colby Covington is hated by me, hated by so many people, not because of the things he says, not because he could be cringe at times, but because he wasn't able to back up anything he said in that Leon Edwards fight. It didn't even look like he was trying. He disappointed so many fans in that fight, and he just looked shit. He looked horrendous. So what's in it for Colby Covington? The answer is redemption. Colby Covington beats Ian Garry. If he embarrasses Ian Garry, if he talks shit to Ian Garry and then humbles him at the end, he will be a savior in a lot of fans' eyes. And that's what's on the line, getting that reputation back. And once you get that reputation back, maybe he goes out and gets one more win and then gets a title shot, or maybe even gets a title shot from there. You never know. It really depends on the performance. And speaking of performances, watch my latest video where I talk about Ryan Garcia's performance against Devin Haney, where he upset the odds, guys. An insane fight. If you guys enjoyed the fight or watched the fight, go make sure you watch that video, guys. Thank you guys for watching. You guys are the best fan base in MMA. Make sure to join the Discord server in the link in the description, and I'll see you guys in the next one.